whose fault is the school budget crisis? Is it the state's? Is it the city's, the Fall River's fault not properly funding the education? Where does the responsibility lie as far as the lack of money?
You want me to answer that
Sure,
first?
you can go first.
I think it's the administration and the school department's responsibility, to be quite frank. But at this point, we don't need to get into, whose fault it was specifically. But I can tell you, as a member of the school committee, and myself and my colleagues and the mayor were told in June that we had a budget of $82.2 million that went up to $83.5 million, and that we could do all the things we needed to do within that number. We were told by the school administration that that's what we could do. So naturally, you think that that's what you can do. And come to find out, as what we're dealing with now, is we were $3.5 million short. Now, there's multiple reasons for that. There's shifting of health care funds from the city to the school department. There's a lot of different variables that come into play here. But the bottom line is, what was the school committee told? That we could have a balanced budget in June. We were told that. Now we're trying to deal with something that we were already told was handled. So now we're handling it again. So I think in time, we'll find out exactly who to blame for it, but I think finding a solution to it right now in the best interest of the kids is what we're dealing with, so.
Mr. Ferry, is it the state's issue? The state needs to better fund the schools here?
I will not argue the situation with the representative in that he's already said as a school committee member that the state has adequately funded the city budget. I will argue the fact, though, that he is the school committee member, and the school committee is ultimately responsible for that budget. They vote on it. It has been proven, it has been shown that numbers were not real. The Green School has an energy budget of $250,000, but 2 new schools have less than 1/4 of that. You didn't look at your budget. You did not look at that budget. You took for the word of somebody who said, we can meet it with the budget that's presented before you. You then voted on that budget. You approved that budget without looking at the numbers. I'm no great supporter of Mayor Correa, but Mayor Correa has said it over and over again. What are you dealing with here? A Disney budget? And that's exactly what's happening. We're dealing with the budget for Narnia. The representative is ultimately responsible for that budget. He voted on it, he approved it, therefore he's responsible for it. And if the mistakes are in that budget, regardless of what Dr. Fisher, regardless of what the leadership team said, he is the one who voted for that budget. The buck stops with the elected representative who is charged with overseeing that budget. And not only is the representative responsible for that, but every member of the school committee. They approved that budget. If they didn't look at it, shame on them. There's an old saying, look before you sign that contract, read it. Well, you know what? You voted for it. You signed that contract.
I think it's important to point out that that was in capacity as a school committee member, and we are talking about state representative, so it is a different capacity.
It is a different capacity, but if we go by what people do in their prior acts, okay, or their history, then all we can say is that a budget that would be presented at the State House level may indeed just pass by with the representative's approval without looking at it, because that's what happened to us here in the city. We have to look at what is happening right now. And what is happening right now is this budget was approved. This budget wasn't looked at, obviously. And the representative said, we were told it was okay. We were told it's okay doesn't mean anything to me. Show me the numbers. Show me where it is. I want to see it. I take responsibility for my actions, my words, what I do. The representative should also take responsibility for the fact that he approved a budget either without looking at it or without seeing it at all.
Okay, very quickly, we need to get back on.
Absolutely.
track,
What's that? The issue of the heat, just because my challenger approached the issue of the heat. The heating budget was submitted to the administration in the proper amount by Mr. Sullivan. Everyone wants to criticize Mr. Sullivan, the school committee, buildings and grounds, you name it, who they want to criticize. That was submitted to the school administration to be put in that budget at a certain level. It was lowered by the school administration. So when you asked the question before about, in the end, we're going to find out who's at fault here. The fact of the matter is the budget that we approved had the right numbers in it. They lowered the numbers at the last minute because we were rushing in school administration to try and get a number. But Mr. Sullivan, the school subcommittee on buildings, they dealt with this issue. We showed it. It was exactly what it should have been. And now, today, with the plan that was approved by the school committee, it's gonna be back to that same number.